What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you very much for joining. We're going to be getting started really soon. So for anybody who doesn't know, Onision has been posting lots of proof, receipts on his YouTube channel recently, and I've decided to do what I am pretty good at doing, which is analysing and critiquing and criticising other people. So we're gonna do that today. We're gonna watch all three videos. I'm going to address things that he says. I'm going to talk about things that he says. I think this live stream's probably going to be about an hour long, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see how we get on. But obviously, I'm quite excited to really jump into this today. So I think this is going to be a really big stream today, actually. So those of you who are here for this, or those of you who are watching this back, I hope you enjoy what we have here today. The good thing is about watching it with me is you're not necessarily giving Onision really any money. He obviously will strike me, but he strikes me anyway when I talk about him or show videos about him. So it's okay. And it's not like I get like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of views on my videos. If I did, then maybe I would be giving him something. But you know, it's really like irrelevant at this point. I feel like this is valued because, you know, whilst I am obviously not a big fan of Onision and his behaviour and his antics over, honestly, the last decade that he's been a YouTuber. I mean, I have been kind of openly critical of both sides, especially as of late. It's it's becoming so foggy and so grey when it comes to this investigation. You know, the antics of Chris Hansen and Vincent, for example, and some of the behaviour of some of these alleged victims as well, and the people who've gone on the show to talk about Onision. It just, you know, it really does mudden the waters, I think is the expression. You know, the waters are getting quite muddy, and it's just, I think it's important that we watch this. You know, we've heard so much from various alleged victims and how how bad Onision is. I feel like there is value in listening to what he says, whether it's ridiculous or not, whether it's preposterous or not. Give it an opportunity, listen to what he has to say, and then we can go from there, can't we? So anyway, let's really jump into this with the first video, which is literally just called The Proof. It was posted a couple of days ago. I don't know how many YouTubers have really talked about it. I think that a lot already have. I know Mike has. I know some other YouTubers have already talked about it. But better late than never, eh? Let's jump in.
Hello. As I said before, I have mountains of receipts, but today we're just going to go through a few. You wonder why I lied about liking you for so long. Was I supposed to just tell you while I was around you so I could give Greg a reason to kick me out? Okay, so Sarah is clearly saying that I would kick her out if I found out she was... I would kick her out.
This is immediately. Onision starts the video by just throwing everybody in the deep end. Like, let's not even start by explaining what you're doing. You're just jumping straight into it. So he puts in blue writing underneath this message: Sarah knew I was against any non-adult having any relationship with either of us. Okay. And she sent a message saying, you wonder why I lied about liking you for so long? Was I supposed to just tell you while I was around so I could give Greg a reason to kick me out? Or okay, so let's assume that what is being sent is actually true, and it's not fake, it's not photoshopped, it's not bullshit, it's actually genuinely something that Sarah sent to Kai. First of all, we don't understand the context, but let's pretend that we do. Not necessarily. Let's assume the context. Let's assume that it's something along the degrees of what I think Greg is insinuating here, or James, whatever the fuck his name is. The way that Kai behaved with these various young women whilst they were staying with them or talking to them, it actually doesn't make Kai look any better that she was like allowing these kind of conversations to happen with her, that Kai was comfortable with Sarah messaging her things like this. And I just think that's a really bad vibe, to be honest, guys. I don't think it doesn't make Kai look good, you know, and obviously it doesn't really mean anything to Greg. It doesn't matter, like, Greg's not really, I mean, it says that Greg could kick her out. I mean, is Greg trying to defend himself, or is he trying to defend Kai? Because right now he's not doing a good job of defending Kai. But whatever, let's continue.
Sarah is clearly saying that I would kick her out if I found out she was...
Also proves Sarah was trying to get with Kai, hence why she blackmailed us to get her way. I love that he, like, explains it, like, he needs to explain all of this to us, that, you know, hence why she blackmailed us to get her way. I mean, where's the insinuate, where's actually the proof of her blackmailing you? It's like he's playing a narrative story right now, and, yeah, maybe there is some truth to his narrative, but it's like, how can you expect us to... You're criticizing people for openly believing Sarah or other alleged victims, and then you're asking us just to take your word for it and just to believe these out-of-context messages and assume that they make sense and that they're rational? I don't know, mate.
Was doing any...
Like, the fact of the matter is, it's literally took him months and months and months to do a video like this, when he could have done it so much earlier, and it just makes it look like it's kind of orchestrated a little bit. I don't know about if you guys agree.
Kai, or showing any affection, or having any inappropriate relationship, as again, I hated the concept, which is why I was so mean to Sarah, just like I told you guys, but you didn't listen. Okay, so this text is from Kai to Billy, and Kai is talking about how Billy was dumped because she's a liar. And what do liars do? Oh, that's right, they lie. So I don't know.
Well, they. I'm gonna read this really quickly. I want us to stop. I don't want to be dragged into anything. I just want to heal after the hellacious year I've had and the whirlwind of a relationship. I need to heal. There's nothing left to talk about. There's no point in arguing. Nothing will change. I just want to move on. I'm emotionally exhausted. I hope you find people who will make you happy. Goodbye. And since you and I still can't pronounce that woman's name. Can't seem to understand. The problem is not the weed. The problem is the illegality of it and the lying. It's not the first time that you've lied to us about smoking. You specifically told me you did not smoke when you did. That is lying. What? Can I ask you a question, guys? Why the fuck is Onision so Nazi about weed? Like, I've never known somebody to be so, like, over the top about marijuana. Like, it's literally like he thinks it's heroin. It's literally like he thinks it's heroin. It's actually preposterous. It's ridiculous. That is lying, just like you lied to me that you wouldn't sleep with Greg because you knew it would hurt me. How you can think you are in the right here is beyond me. You hurt me over and over and over and can't give me so much as a fucking apology. See, it's funny that, like, sleeping with Greg, it's a really big problem when another girl does it. Like, what about your problem with Greg for doing that? Like, it makes you wonder why, like, if I was with a woman who was sleeping with another man and I didn't like that, I would leave them. I mean, it is obviously the woman's fault, but it's the man's fault too. Like, why does it seem to be, like, focused on the third party and not? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe they have argued and rowed about it, but it's just stupid to me. You don't love me, and you never did, but I really, really loved you, Billy, and I will ache for you for a long time. It's so stupid. This kind of communication is so what's the word? Like, over exaggerated. I wish you could understand. I really do, but you don't feel even bad, so I shouldn't expect anything. This was never about me to begin with, and it's abundantly clear. I've known that for a long time, and I'll let you both convince me that it wasn't the case, but it was. Unfortunately, I developed real things for you, and I have to work through this hurt now, so thank you. That's so manipulative to say that. Like, I've developed something for you, and you have hurt me, so thank you for that. Like, who the fuck talks like this? It's so manipulative. For the record, if you would have asked if it was okay to have smoked on New Year's, even though you promised you wouldn't, I would have said yes. Okay, well. So, I mean, this doesn't really tell me that she... So what Onision considers painfully problematic is really just, number one, her smoking marijuana, and number two, her having sex with Greg? Yeah, kind of weird, innit? It's not great evidence, but whatever. Yeah.
Why anyone would be like, oh yeah, this is a credible source of information. They were literally dumped for lying. Moving on, it's Kai explaining to Billy how important it is to not come around kids with her intoxication. She confronts Billy saying, hey, you know, the pot and the alcohol and all that stuff, it's not appropriate to be around kids with that. And Billy's like, I don't drink. Just totally ignoring the freaking pot thing.
It's interesting. It's interesting that, like, this is being sent. I mean, I don't disagree with the concept of, like, you don't want to, like, get intoxicated or do alcohol or drugs or whatever around children. Now, I completely get that, but I don't think it was, like, to an extent where it was an actual issue. Like, I really doubt that Billy or any of the other girls were literally, like, doing awful things around their children or around them either. Like, the way that Onision, like, presents himself as a person, he seems to me to be the kind of person that if you do something that he doesn't like, he's going to make your fucking life miserable for it. Like, he's going to, like, get some sort of, like, retaliation against you. And I don't think there are many women, especially the women that he kind of goes after, these kind of young, fragile girls, these you know, these women who are like barely adults, most, you know, still live with their family before kind of moving in and kind of meeting him, and it's like, you know, yeah, I don't think a lot of these girls would be able to stand up to somebody like him, actually. So I don't buy it, to be honest. I don't buy that they would be this radical and this crazy, this extreme. Yeah, it doesn't even seem like we're go right now, and I want to repeat this just for those of you who are joining late. Me going off this evidence, I am pretending that all of this is legitimate. So this is me listening to what he has to say, reading his proof, and giving you my perspective on it. I'm not going to sit here for 30 minutes to an hour saying, oh, you know, it's probably an Onision, it's probably this, because that just sounds like an irrational waste of my time. And that's what a lot of you, no offense, that's what some of you guys are doing in chat, is you're just saying, oh, it's not Kai, it's an Onision. It might be, and I'm not saying it's not, it genuinely might be, but that's not the point of this live stream. I am picking apart his proof. So that is what we're doing here today. So yeah, obviously it kind of progresses. My point is that the relationship is much more than just Greg and I. There are two kids involved, and I think you need to fully understand what that means and the kind of sacrifice that is. I know they aren't your kids, but being in a relationship with people with kids requires a tremendous amount of sacrifice and selflessness, and you need to be sure that is something that you can do, something you want to do. And explain. I really don't know how to explain that any more clearly. How are you? Not great. I mean, this sounds really dumb. Like, I understand why people, like, why some of you guys in the chat believe that it's like, it's been orchestrated, it's been set up. It's interesting. It's interesting. Let's put it that way.
The pot thing was kind of an issue too, like being high, being drunk. They're both a problem around kids, obviously. Going on, Billy admits to Kai that she holds grudges against me. She's clearly saying that she is vindictive, that she is malicious, because that's what it means when you hold grudges against people. You are going to be.
God, the shit he comes out with. Like, you can I hold grudges against people. I feel like everybody holds grudges against people. I honestly, and Onision paints himself as this fucking saint. It's so dumb. That's a huge reach. In the text so far, she admitted to being a liar and to holding grudges. What do liars who hold grudges do again? Dude. I feel like I'm gonna get really stressed out, aren't I?
Like a grudge. Watch the movie The Grudge, okay? That chick goes after people, okay? That's a bad point, but it's also funny. Billy tells Kai she would date him if he left me. It's unfortunate, but she did that to both of us, where she was trying to split up our marriage constantly because she didn't really seem to care about, you know,
Then maybe stop talking to young women and bringing them to your household, because I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty evident that if you... I don't know anything about, you know, guys, I'm a monogamist. I don't know too much about polygamy, but I feel like if you're going to have a polyamorous lifestyle, you should do it with people who are mature and people who are on your wavelength. So maybe stop bringing teenage girls into your household who are clearly immature and irrational because they're teenagers, and maybe bring adults into your household who you can, you can bypass all of this bullshit. Yeah, and somebody who actually wants a poly relationship. Thank you, Becca. Yeah, exactly. Somebody who actually wants a poly to be in that lifestyle, because it's pretty clear to me that these women, and they've actually some of these alleged victims actually did state that they were more interested in Kai. They weren't interested in Onision, which is understandable, I suppose. And I think that's so important, isn't it? Yeah, communication, exactly. It's all about communication, and that's just not happening here. It's just ridiculous, but yeah. Anyway, so I love it. It's just like it. I mean, you can't really read it on the screen, unfortunately, but it says like, again, home wrecking, and it's like, dude, like, what do you fucking expect to happen? It's so dumb. Anyway, let's continue.
The house staying together and, parents being there for their kids and so forth. She was just all about her, which is unfortunate. Anyway, moving on, we got
You one
Kai
about you. Okay.
talking to Billy after Kai found out about Cuddlegate. Billy did not care. I cuddled with Billy and I gave her a full body massage, with the exception of the mid region. And yeah, Billy didn't care, except I eventually came around and said, you know what, you got to go. And then Billy left, and then I repaired things with Kai. But Kai was pointing out how frustrating it was that she didn't leave on her own, showing that she didn't care. Because, like, if you're hanging out with someone's husband...
I can't believe they've called something Cuddlegate. This is so, like, Grease Mansion. This is some cult-like weird shit,
with
bro.
That husband, and you care about the family who's married to that husband, you're probably like, okay, I'm going to leave so you guys can work things out. But Billy was not. Billy was holding her ground. Again, it says Kai making it painfully clear to Sarah that she is just a friend and not at all romantic. Then Sarah admits that she is trying to get with Kai despite Kai not wanting to. Sarah throwing yet another tantrum. Yeah, so because Sarah couldn't be with Kai, she just throws away the whole friendship. That's the type of, if you aren't going to be with me.
All right, let's read. Let's read this. There's quite a bit to this, but let's read it. So, Blue says, which is Kai, assumedly, or Onision, I have put myself in your shoes. That doesn't mean I am obligated to jump back into a friendship with someone who hurt me, and lied to me about their intentions for years, and didn't respect my boundaries. Response. What boundaries didn't I respect? What intentions did I have? I was planning on being your friend and keeping my feelings to myself, so I'm not too sure what the fuck you mean. I literally would help you get back with Billy and Greg too. What the fuck? Even when we hated each other, so don't try pulling that shit on me. And then back to the original, Blue. You ended the friendship of 4 years over bullshit. You did not clarify anything with me. You both did not respect that I didn't know if I would have feelings. I mean, didn't their friendship start when Sarah was literally like 13, 14 or something? Like, I know I'm getting back to like the shit that I've said like in much earlier videos, but why the fuck is somebody who is an adult talking to a 13, 14-year-old and having a friendship with them? It's fucking weird, and it's not normal. It's not normal. That's like some like Nambler type shit. That's some like child lover shit. You know, that's literally, that is literally like the epitome that the if you were to look up like the I don't want to like get into this too much, but it's something that these people do. You know, they prey, not these people, but pedophiles and ephebophiles and groomers, is they target these young people and they build up friendships with them so they get comfortable, and then they start to take advantage of them. And I'm not saying that necessarily happened here, although I mean, you get what you can read for yourself. What you can come up with your own conclusion. But it's just really, really odd. It's really, really strange, and it's like, why? Why are two people who are married, who have children, engaging with a teenage girl who's far younger than them? It just, I get if there's like a small age gap between them, right? But there isn't. There isn't, unfortunately, and it just makes it really weird. It makes it really weird.
I'm going to end our friendship. That's how Sarah was. Very, I guess that's vindictive again. It's very...
Like, all that Onision's doing right now is just further proving that he and his wife like to have relationships with young girls. And whether that's, whether that's sexual or not is something that it can't be proven, obviously. But it's just a bit sketchy.
I'm going to hurt you.
Doesn't look good.
That's what Sarah is, and that is what explains literally pretty much everything she's done since that day. She's been very, like, I'm telling you guys, like, this wasn't just BS. I call myself one of the most honest YouTubers because I do have the receipts, and because I do actually tell things how they happen.
I'm one of the most honest YouTubers, dude.
Unless I'm pranking you. I love pranking you guys. Like that video with Shiloh where I'm like, you'll never be good enough. That was a prank. Shiloh's not going to tell you the truth, but I will. Um, which is why we had other prank videos. If you look those up, they're pretty funny. The Josh Show offered to pay Sarah at one point money to deliver dirt on us. Sarah says for the...
Yeah, but forget that guy, man. Forget that guy. That's just... There are YouTubers and commentators who act really stupid and can make mistakes, and that is in no... Just because somebody asks somebody else to do something and is willing to pay them doesn't mean that that person who was being offered to do something is bad because of that. Like, if somebody was to turn around into my DMs and say, yo, Loki, if you do this video or cover this topic, we'll pay you for it. You know, we'll, if you make somebody look bad, right? Yeah? You do it, and I'll give you some dosh for it, yeah? And if I turn around and said, no, fuck that, it's... I don't know, man. Like, it'd be weird if people are using that against me, you know? Let's all realise Greggy Poo has cropped out who actually sent these texts, and there are no timestamps in some of these texts. That and all of his fans. Yeah, and that's Spartan. You know, obviously I know people are joining as we're progressing, but I will reiterate throughout this entire live stream that this video is going off the interpretation that what he's posting, what he's showing, is legitimate. And what I'm doing is I'm picking apart his actual proof, what he believes to be his proof, because it's so easy for us to just disregard what he says and say, oh, it's fake, it's not true. But then again, how much of what the alleged victims have shown us can they prove? So it's very easy for us to say fuck Onision for fuck you Onision. We're not gonna like listen to what you have to say. We're not gonna read what you say and kind of go from there. It's so easy for us to do that, but that wouldn't be very fair. Even though this guy's a complete asshat, we still gotta... Just because somebody's a douchebag doesn't mean that we have to be douchebags, you know? Why should we believe that Sarah's lying now but telling the truth back then? Well, I'm not... yeah, right. Anyway. Has somebody explained to me how I should pronounce the word epitome? No bully for correction. Actually, no. That's always how I've said that word. I don't know if you guys don't like that word or how I pronounce that word. Sue me. You know, sue me. Please don't sue me. But anyway, let's continue.
The record. She has never slept with us. That's on in 2017. Moving on. She points out that the parenting in the household is great. Okay. So when you have people pointing out, you keep seeing signs that parenting is great, which is why, people remain parents and everyone clears them, because everyone who is still in our life says that our parenting is good. But suddenly when they leave our life, they're like, meh. That's when they want to talk crap. Because
so you could say the opposite about that too. You could say because they're in your life and they care about you, they are protecting you. And they are saying that you are a good parent and that you're a good person, and that it's overreacting. There's a complete opposite side to this, where it's like, Onision's going out there and he's saying, oh, all of these people, they used to tell people that I was a great person, and as soon as we fell out, now I'm a bad person. But don't you think it might be because you were close to them, like you were friends with them, and they didn't really see how bad you were? They didn't see that you were a bad person, and now that you've fallen out, that you've had problems, and all of the negative shit happened after that point, maybe their opinion of you has changed, and they don't think that you are as good of a person as you were. That's genuinely what happens in a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships, especially abusive relationships. You'll date a man or a woman who, to begin with, is fine. But as the relationship progresses, it gets, you start to notice problems with how they behave with you, how they act around you, and that behavior can become more and more abusive over time. So whilst maybe in the past you would say, oh, my boyfriend's great, my girlfriend's fantastic, I love them to bits. As time could progress, it could become like, holy fucking shit, this person is a nutcase, is a psychopath. I'm just saying.
they want to hurt people because they're vindictive. We've all met vindictive people. This is how they function when they're rejected. Moving on, it says, Sarah pointing out yet again that I am not some creep. And there was this rumor that you guys didn't hear about, I guess, but they were saying that I kissed someone who I shouldn't have on a plane for some reason. They're just like, oh yeah, he just goes around kissing people on planes. And Sarah knew damn well that never happened. So Sarah's like, yeah, he would never do that. That's, gross thing.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Sarah straight up saying, you didn't groom me. I had a grown man attempt to actually groom me when I was 11, and once I caught on what I was doing,
Oh,
I
fuck's
chewed him
sake.
out and told the police. I don't get groomed. Okay, so this is Sarah insisting she can't get groomed. I mean, she's saying it herself. Like, I'm showing you the receipts right now. Sarah goes on to call out Ayala for trying to get with Sarah. She does this more than
Ayala.
once.
Ayala.
Okay?
That
was very real as far as
what
I
an
know.
unusual name that is, Ayala.
She was very passionate about it. It's not like she just said it about Billy. I don't think Billy would ever try to do that to Sarah. I don't think Billy was into Sarah. I was surprised Ayala was, because I viewed Sarah as basically like a parasite or something like at the time. Like I felt like she was some kind of like gremlin that existed with us, who I felt sorry for because she said her mom hit her at one point, which was probably a lie. But yeah, I have a hero complex, so I wanna be a shelter for people who need help. Not anymore, of course, because I know people are evil. Anyway. Sarah calling out Billy and Ayala again for trying to get with Sarah. She also accuses Billy of teaching her how to starve herself. And it points out that ironically,
It's funny he calls himself a hero, right? And I'm not gonna argue that because I think that's so stupid. But I do want to say, and I don't know how many of you guys read books. I don't know how many of you guys enjoy a good story and learning about heroes and villains, but one thing that's interesting about a lot of villains, unless you're reading some sort of children's book or some sort of like black and white story that's very very obvious, like Jedi versus Sith, Star Wars type stuff. A lot of stories, the nemesis, the bad person, the perpetrator, doesn't believe that they're bad. They don't believe that they are a bad person. They believe they're a good person. They believe that what they are wanting to do, what they're looking to do, is a good thing. And I think it's always important to remember this when dealing with situations like this, is that some people will always believe that they are good, no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter how they behave. And you can consider that being delusional if you would like to, but it could be a variety of things, couldn't it? But yeah, everybody who's joined the stream so far, thank you very much for joining. I hope you're enjoying my live stream so much. Shout out, I don't know if my moderators are in the house, but if you are, thank you for doing the shtick. Let's proceed.
Ayala was the one who insisted that we were bad, and it's probably, a projection of her guilt, because, she herself apparently tried to get with Sarah when no one in the house was trying to get with Sarah except for her. So that's creepy. Sarah again saying she was never groomed. How many times does she need to say she was never groomed before you guys to get it through your head? Okay? It goes on. Sarah admitting to grooming Kai. So Sarah is in this text saying that she groomed Kai. Okay? Which is a thing. You can groom, like if I met a 90-year-old man and I started hitting on him and trying to get him up, and he's like, no, you're too young. And then I'm like, no, dude, we can do this. That I could potentially groom a 90-year-old. Okay, so just because you're younger doesn't mean you can't be malicious. Sarah's obviously been malicious to this whole thing, especially with her going on a full interview tour with every single channel she can to get all the fame she can, and asking you to replace a $200 laptop for $1,500, I think was the price. Anyway, she also pointed out that she was well over 18 when everything happened. That means like apparently at least 5 months into it. And that was after she blackmailed us into doing it, as obviously throughout all these texts you can see that she's very, very much so trying to get with us despite us rejecting her, okay? She throws a temper tantrum when she's rejected. She tries to hurt people when she's rejected. And so she was...
This is such a strange narrative because it's like playing on this concept that Onision and Kai aren't able to control themselves and that they're not able to tell people, like, to kick people from their lives. If what he's saying is true, and that's a huge if, everybody, right? But let's pretend for this explanation that what he's saying is true, and that there are women who come into his life and Kai's life that act irrational and erratic and bring so much turmoil and madness to their life. Why do you allow these women these young ladies to continue being a part of your life if they're continuously like manipulating you and trying to control you? And why would you go and have sex with them when they are of age? Why would you be doing this if they were really that problematic? It's funny because I genuinely believe that the shit that Onision is saying about Sarah currently, that Sarah used to be all up in her praises and all up in, used to always praise Kai and Onision and be like really supportive of them and tell people that that they weren't groomers and they weren't bad people. I genuinely believe that in the past, Onision and Kai were the same with Sarah and were the same with all of these different people. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Onision is using this whole thing about Sarah saying this in the past to make himself look innocent, right? But I assume that back in the day, Onision would have defended Sarah. He would have defended all of these people. But now he's very quick to change his tone. He's very quick to say that she's a liar, that she's a manipulator, that she's this, that she's that. So why doesn't he understand why that would happen to him? It's hypocritical. Do you guys understand? Do you understand where I'm getting at? The same thing that he's putting Sarah down and other women down for, he is doing himself. And obviously, I think you have to have a certain grasp on this situation, this story, to really understand that. But it's so much bigger than he said, she said. It's people that used to like each other not liking each other anymore and saying that the other one is a bad person. It's like, who do you believe? Who are you supposed to follow? And from what I've really seen, Sarah is not problematic, at least on the internet, whilst Onision is extremely problematic and says things that he doesn't need to say and makes jokes that he shouldn't be making and going after these girls and attacking these girls. So it's like, who do you like? There is to call people stupid for believing Sarah or these other women is so stupid. It's so erratic. It's so ridiculous because it actually makes sense to believe them and not him.
Was willing to resort to blackmail just to make it happen. Additionally, she pointed out here that nothing ever happened to her as a minor, which she also said in video. Okay, she later on made a fake video, acting like the first video was fake, but sorry, the receipts are here. Anyway, so Sarah insisting everything was okay and that she was not groomed again. How many times does she need to insist that she wasn't groomed for you guys to understand?
How many times do you need to insist? Like, how many times do you need to show this up? Like,
I get called a groomer all the time, and it's like, dude, I never groomed anybody. And like Sarah says, I never groomed anybody. Everybody says I never groomed anybody except for Ayala, who, oh yeah, tried to sleep with Sarah when she was not an adult. So let's all analyze that, okay?
Where's the proof of that, sir? I hope that's next. But it's just interesting. It's really interesting. He talks about like not grooming, but you can spend time with a child, like a teenager, and you can like build them up and kind of mentally kind of control them and kind of direct them to be the kind of adult that you want them to be, and then have sex with them when they're an adult, and that can still be grooming. I don't know why he doesn't understand that. The word grooming is not a nice word, and being called a groomer is not a nice thing. But it's not the same as being a pedophile. It's not the same as being a pedophile, and I think it's really important for everybody to know. So, I mean, it can lead to the same thing. It can lead to the same thing, but arguably, it's a step down. It's a step down from being a pedophile, because being a pedophile means that you aren't just manipulating and controlling and trying to build up this kind of easiness between you and a young person, but obviously being a pedophile is like the next step. You're actually like following through with the grooming, and you're you know, bad stuff, right? And yeah, exactly. You could mold them in your image, the way that you want them to be, and it's what you know. I think that's the thing about it, and this is mainly men who do this, but I know obviously there are obviously women pedophiles out there who done this in the past, obviously. But the idea is like, you know, you kind of prey on these young women, you mold them into the kind of woman that you want, that you use like your perfect woman, and you literally like fucking like just control them, and you do what you do what you want. Literally, you are just in control. You're a king, and they are just your servant, your subject. That is literally how some men believe and think, and look and how like, the ideal woman that some men want, and it's just ridiculous. It's
Let's
strange.
figure out what's really going on. And lastly, Sarah admitting to sending suggestive meme to Kai. That Kai.
By the way, I'm not saying that like Onision is necessarily doing that to that extent. I'm speaking from. I'm not speaking. You know, I'm not necessarily speaking about him. I'm just bringing up like what I presume that to be.
I was blamed for, and Sarah admitting that she never cuddled with Kai till she was 18, then admitting to cuddling with someone who was not 18 herself, and says that if that's doing that is bad, then she is a pedo. So Sarah, I guess, admitting that she's a pedo if that's what that is. Now, unfortunately, I can't say anything inspirational or something.
Wait, I want to read that. I actually want to read that because that sounds so stupid. It was on his live stream, but he was like someone sent me a fucking Squidward meme. That's obviously a meme. Are you guys kidding? Thank you, and I'm the one who fucking sent it. Real sexy picture of Squidward there though. Might have turned me on. Clearly, he even was like, I don't know if they cuddled, but it's cuddling. See, it's so weird that like a mature man who's older than me, he was older than me back then as well, is talking about cuddling. It's so it just makes me cringe. It makes me wince. Also, that never happened until I was 18. But even if it did, I cuddle with my mom and dad. Shit, I'd cuddle with my siblings too. I don't care. Exactly. Madison tries to cuddle me every time she spends a night. She's 17. Am I a pedophile now? Guess so. It's pretty evident they're like joking around here. Like he's joking around, or he's joking around, or sorry, she's Kai's. Whatever the fuck. They're joking around clearly.
If that's what that is. Now, unfortunately, I can't say anything inspirational or something great to conclude this video because really, Sarah just ruined Kai's life. Like, I've never seen Kai so upset and...
Stop messing around with kids then, Kai, and maybe life will be easier for you, eh?
Read through some texts, and then we'll get to
Next
some
video.
other stuff. This is Sarah talking. She says, "Are you kidding me, Lainey? I'm not mad because you don't have romantic feelings for me. It hurts, but I know you have no control over that. Like, I have no control over my feelings." Okay, so Sarah turned 18 in August. This is the 10th, so it's October, right? Okay, so she's well into being an adult, and she's speaking as an adult. I've known nothing was ever going to happen for 2 years, and I still stuck around because regardless of me being in love with you, okay, so her admitting again that...
Like, honestly, can I just be straight up? Like, Kai and Onision are so problematic. They are extremely problematic people. Even if the allegations of grooming and pedophilia is incorrect, which, I mean, based off the images that Kai sent to alleged victims before they were of age, I'd say that it's probably, you know, Kai, you know, is probably fucked in my opinion. But let's say that it's not true. They're still extremely problematic people, and they need like to really have a reality check and stop doing this shit. But the thing about these kind of people, and I think this is like by kind of people, I mean people who behave like this. They're never going to change. They're never going to change.
She was into Kai, significantly into Kai. And so this whole thing that Kai was pressured and that she blackmailed Kai and the sleeping, that's all very real, obviously.
I see you, Kelsey. How you doing?
You were always my best friend before anything else, and that's exactly why I never planned to tell you how I felt again, because our friendship meant everything to me, and I didn't want something like this to happen. I tried so hard for years to get over it for the sake of being able to keep you in my life forever. You think I just threw it away? I've been so effed up about this last 3 weeks because I cannot believe that after I told you multiple times, if it was no, to just tell me because it would hurt less. After I asked you that it was no, if I could have the courtesy of hearing from you after I told you you not liking me would not ruin our friendship. Okay, so this also blows the whole selfies thing out of the water. Okay, regarding Kai, everyone says Kai sent selfies
I'm sorry if any of you guys are bored at the moment, because I really am.
that were inappropriate. But if Kai actually ever wanted to send anybody inappropriate selfies, why would Sarah be confessing here that Kai never had any interest in Sarah? Anyway, after I broke down crying, I feared that you night in the shower before any of this started about how I didn't want any sort of talk about it unless it was going to be real. That you just don't care about me enough to tell me. Instead, you allowed me to believe for the first time in 2 years there was an actual chance of us being together, i.e. we never did anything inappropriate, hence why Sarah made that video where she said nothing inappropriate ever happened. I'll go and play that video for you right now.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah, and recently I've seen some allegations against my friend Kai regarding me, and I just came to make my statement since I see a lot of people talking for me, but people are saying that we had sexual conversations or were planning on having sexual relations when I was underage, and we never did. I don't know why people are now saying this and bringing up old screenshots that have already been addressed, but Kai is one of the sweetest people I know, and he doesn't deserve this, and it's not fair to me.
It's interesting that you blurred her face, isn't it? To answer the question from PJ Taylor, is this the most viral you've ever been? How does it feel to clout chase an onion? Is it worth it? It's alright, could be better, It'd be cool if I was a bit bigger because of it, PJ. I feel like out of all the people who talk about Onision, I'm probably one of the people who probably gains the least out of it. But yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing, PJ. Thank you for your interest in what I do. It's cool.
And it's not fair to him, and I wish this would all stop.
Okay, seems pretty legit, right? Right? Okay, well, here's the problem.
Yikes.
Sarah decides she can fool everybody by literally going completely the opposite and having a total mental breakdown at a later date while pretending she recorded it around the same time as this extremely composed, almost emotionless video. By obviously having her hat shifted by being in a different room with apparently a different camera and act like that was bloopers. Like that was, her trying to actually record that initial video. Why would she switch rooms entirely and be completely composed in the first video and then total mess in another room?
I mean, yeah, isn't it just mirrored? That's actually really interesting. That's actually really interesting because I'm not gonna lie, the hair does look different. Looks like it's styled a little bit different. The beanie's a little bit different. But then, who says that Sarah's video didn't take her time to make? And she was like readjusting her hair and trying to sort herself out and reposition the camera. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know if this necessarily constitutes proof, but it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. I don't think so. I don't think it's true. Like if I was going to be recording something for like a number of hours, and I was stressed because apparently Sarah was really stressed making this video, and did the blooper, right? If I was like making a really stressful video, I would probably try and record it and struggle and come back a little bit later and try and do different angles and just try and like speak properly and get out what I want to say without stuttering and freaking out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's the same clothes. It appears to be the same room, same beanie, same top. Obviously there's something different in the background, but that could be easy to be, I think like it might be a bit reaching, But it's interesting that Onision brings it up because I think this is the first thing so far that we've actually had to like, not necessarily question, but we've actually had to kind of like think about, and I think that's interesting to say the least. Despite the fact it's probably not true. It's interesting.
It sounds to me.
We're actually getting substance out of this, which I'm actually enjoying, and I don't know if you guys are enjoying it too. But at least, you know, after all the moronic things that Onision says, like, oh, cuddling this, cuddling that, oh, Kai is crying, you know, we're actually getting like something from it that
like she was
we can think
so
about
lazy,
and talk
and
about.
instead just decided to half-ass because you
Irish, how you doing?
that she would just go to a different room and pretend to have a breakdown. And I just want to point something out because you guys are so stupid. So stupid. You didn't even notice that her hair is a different length. Did any of you notice that? Her blooper video, which she recorded months after the first video, while telling all of you that she recorded it the same day, different hair length. How could you people miss that? You are so stupid, and she's already proven without a doubt guilty of being a slanderous liar who is willing to play victim and just #MeToo while throwing literally everyone else under the bus. So at this point, I think that if I chose to...
It's really, yeah, it is really hard to see because he's blurred her face, and I feel like if he didn't blur her face, it would be easier. But I'm actually looking at it, and I'm thinking of what it would look like if it was flipped. And it seems there is some curved hair that comes in. And... wait, what? No, I mean... Onision could genuinely edit her photo as well. It just, yeah, exactly. On the opposite side, it does look like it's a bit thicker and it's more curved. Whilst on the other side, it's a lot leaner. It looks like it's just fucking flipped. The neck part is a bit interesting, but there's no reason why she couldn't have, like, done a different angle later where it looks a little bit lower. I don't know, it just doesn't sound legit to me.
Sue Sarah, I would have a slam dunk lawsuit because she literally exposed herself by posting a video of her saying something.
Then why don't you do it then? If you genuinely believe that you're so innocent, why not actually, you know, press charges against people instead of going to court, getting the name wrong, and then deciding to just, you know, drop all charges? It's just so dumb, innit? It's dumb.
About Kai, and we have all these texts of her saying something about Kai.
Yeah,
and then later on she posts a video of her fake crying with a totally different hair length while telling everybody that was recorded right before she recorded the other video. So did she just get a haircut in between those times and get her hair dyed too? Or faded or whatever's going on there? It's over. It's done. So go to all the commentary channels who have been slandering myself and my spouse for the last almost year, and maybe inform them that they're all completely wrong and that they've been backing a total liar. And maybe you could all apologize to Kai, because Kai is an incredible person who was dragged through the ditches, all because...
It's literally flipped. It's literally flipped. That's amazing. That's actually amazing. Like, you can see that the long part, the fringe on one side, and then the other one, it's on the opposite side, and then it's long on the other side, and then the hat's right. Oh, this is so funny. This is
Kai didn't want to be with Sarah, and Sarah couldn't handle it. Absolutely disgraceful and a gross abuse of #MeToo. And I cannot emphasize this enough. This person tried to destroy Kai's life by implying Kai was some kind of predator. And this video that they are faking being on the same day, the original was recorded saying that Kai was completely innocent and she was an adult when she said that. The other video was her trying to act like she never actually meant that Kai was innocent. But the problem is, you forgot that you cut your hair and that your hair color had changed. It had faded, which is what happens when you dye your hair. Did Sarah just hijack #MeToo so you would fund her GoFundMe buy a new laptop campaign? And on top of her being someone who uses cocaine, or at least admitted publicly to using cocaine, on top of her publicly admitting to being a drug dealer, an illegal drug dealer,
what the fuck?
admitting to me that she was going to get paid in exchange for someone getting their green card with a false marriage, also a crime.
Wow, he's literally going off on a tangent right now. He's like, she's a drug dealer, She's gonna get green marriages. Green marriages. What am I even saying? Green card marriage. Green. Can you imagine, guys? A green marriage, not a white wedding, a green wedding. God, what am I saying?
Go figure. Committed a crime against all of you two, trying to steal your money under a false pretense. So yeah, I think that maybe she owes all of you an apology at this point.
Oh, Christy Christ. I want you guys to be aware, by the way, that the comments section is literally people saying, I'm so sad for your situation. It's actually, the comments have all been controlled, and they're all with, like, standing with Onision. Have you seen this shit? Have you seen this shit? Look at it. I love you so much. Thank you for finally coming out with the truth. Comment sections open again. ... That's a legit one. I like that. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that like these people aren't genuine people. I believe they are. I know that Onision does have an audience of people who believe him and support him. And you know, whilst I would like to criticize them, I don't think that's really what I. No matter who no matter how bad somebody is, or no matter how foolish they can seem, there will be people who will support them and represent them and kind of stand by them. And it's easy to get angry and frustrated at these people, but there's always going to be people like that. So don't fucking worry about it. Don't worry about a minority of people who are in his corner, because let's be honest. I mean, how much are they really affecting? I mean, unless they are really affecting things, what's the problem? Just let him have his 50 followers, 100 followers who actually fucking support him, whilst there are millions of people out there who literally disagree with him, But yeah, it's interesting that there's comments and they're all very strange. Anyway, one more video that we got to get through.
Saying to Kai.
Oh, here we are.
First, if you think anything I presented so far is fake, just ask Sarah.
By the way, to those of you who are new here, thank you very much for joining. My name's Loki, and we are here today analysing Onision's proof. So if you do like my channel, if you like what I'm doing here today, feel free to subscribe to me, of course. I do live stream regularly. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the stream.
Sarah. Either she can say it's fake, and I could literally prove it. I could literally prove it because I have these texts on my devices. Or
pause. Somebody put in the chat, they're called children, sir. People like to say that, but there's actually a lot of people who are adults who support Onision. Maybe not a lot, but there are. And I think people need to be aware that there are people of all ages who support Onision. People who are older, people who are younger. And yes, there are children, there are teenagers who do support Onision. And I'd argue that probably a decent percentage of his stands, his supporters, are probably teenagers. But there are adults too, and I think that's something that we need to be aware of.
She could admit that they're real, which would blow her entire story apart. Now, to state the obvious, the reason I haven't proved it to you is because this involves her actual phone number being attached to the texts. I would have to literally show someone the phone number that it came from, which would require, I don't know, Keemstar or some interviewer to confirm, so it wouldn't be technically doxing or anything like that. Now, this right here is Sarah saying to Kai, I'm not out to get you, which was an obvious lie. As you guys know, both Anti-O and Fan, you know that Sarah has been out to get Kai for some time now. So this is her lying directly, and Kai was right to not trust Sarah and reject Sarah for some time, because obviously Sarah was exactly what Kai felt Sarah was, a backstabbing, lying criminal. Again, this is Sarah admitting to lying to people. As you can see in the beginning, she says, you wonder why I lied. She is a liar. She is a self-admitted liar. She's also a self-admitted cocaine user. She's also a self-admitted...
Okay, whilst I'm not like a huge fan of like hard drugs, taking cocaine once or doing it socially doesn't make you a bad person, and I don't think we should be using that as, actually, let's actually go further than this. Taking any drug doesn't make you a bad person. And I don't like the fact that Onision is putting a stigma on doing drugs and being a drug addict is actually very disrespectful to people who are drug addicts or recovering drug addicts, that he is somebody who feels this way about people who are addicted or people who make mistakes. He's always talking about how we should forgive people for the things that they do, and he's sitting here saying, "Oh, she's a coke addict. She does coke." Like, you keep asking people to forgive you and to forgive the things that you've done in the past, but you're not willing to let what other people have done go. You're not willing to forgive other people and their transgressions. And it's like, how can you expect somebody to... How can you expect this community, this huge YouTube community, to go, you know what, Onision, you're right. We should forgive you. We should, stop the barrage. Like, and that's ridiculous for us to say, right? But like, how can he expect us to say something like that when he is not casting the first stone? He is not in any... He is talking the talk, but he is not walking the walk. He's all bark, but no bite. And that's just an issue, in my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm not necessarily the best person in the world. I'm not. And I don't think necessarily anybody in the house is a saint, but it's like... It's just hypocritical. It's really hypocritical. That's just my opinion.
Drug dealer. She's also a self-admitted person who would try to marry someone for money so they could illegally get a green card. And a self-admitted liar on top of that? You would have to be...
Well, I mean, what's wrong? I mean, what is genuinely wrong with somebody who wants to live in America or live in a certain country paying somebody else to get a green card? I mean, if you're like anti-immigration and you don't like people of other places, then fair enough. But I'm somebody who believes that you should be able to live wherever you want to live. And
we love
I wish! Oh my god! You're amazing! Oh my god, I'm good. Oh god, this is crazy. Thank you. But did you react to the proof against Sarah's video? Are you referring to the hair thing? I literally reacted to it like 10 minutes ago. You are aware, Sunny, that the video has been flipped, right? Her hair is on the opposite side. Her moles are on the opposite side. The beanie is on the opposite side. It's flipped. My audience noticed before I did, which really does show, guys, that some of you guys are on the fucking ball, and I fuck with that. More than I am, apparently. Although, to be honest, guys, let me off. It's like 1 in the morning. It's pretty late. I am a bit of a night owl, but my mind does slow down over the course of the evening, the night. And Bandit and Lola are here, guys. I think I'm going to show you guys my dogs at the end of this live stream. If you guys want to see my dogs, my beautiful puppies that I have. My pug and my French bulldog, crossed with a Chihuahua. Yeah, don't worry, Sonny. Thank you for joining, though, and just be aware of future reference. If I do a stream like this, it's always good to be here nearer the start, because I do really pound through the topics very, very quickly, and I do not like rewinding, because obviously it slows things down for everybody who's watching from the start, on repeat, on rewind, whatnot. But yeah, shout out to those of you who've been joining throughout. Thanks for joining. But let's proceed moving forward. I don't know if I actually had a point what I was saying, but I'm apparently a fucking moron.
Be stupid to support her, but people are so dumb that they will pay $1,500.
I know people who are watching this are going to be so angry at me, because they're going to be like, you know what, can you just play the fucking video so we can watch it? But I just want to say really, really quickly, I don't genuinely feel there's anything wrong with one of your friends or somebody that you know wanting a green card and them paying you to facilitate that. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. It doesn't seem to be nasty. It's not spiteful. It's not a horrible thing, and you're giving somebody a better quality of life. So, I mean, sounds pretty great to me, If you guys were like from like third world countries or countries where like it's really corrupt, really fucked up, and somebody gives you the opportunity to move to their country with really not like America, UK, like a country that's got better infrastructure, that's a little bit less corrupt, and is going to give you a better quality of life, but you have to pay for it. That sounds like a good fucking deal to me. As long as you've got the money and it's safe and not a scam,
$500 to replace a $200 laptop.
It is unfair, but T-Sin, in the 21st century, I think a lot of immigration policies are actually unfair. Like, there are certain countries where you need to be educated to a certain degree to actually like move to a country, or you have to have a certain kind of job. And I know a lot of people speak of nationalism, and I don't want to get into this debate today, but I'm not very nationalist. I'm British, I'm English, yeah, but I'm not very nationalist. I don't care where you live. I don't mind where you live. We all live on the same planet, and I think we should be able to live where we want to live. As long as we have the means to move there and to rent a place or buy a place there and support that country, I don't really see the problem with wanting to live in America or wanting to live in Europe. Like, you know, a lot of us who are Western, we don't realize how difficult life is for people who live in developing countries. We don't realize how difficult it is. Countries like Syria, where people are literally being bombed and children are like dying on the streets. Like, it's fucking horrible. And I think any of us who were in a situation like that would want salvation, would want help. Just my cup of tea. Just my point of view. But I understand people's point of views. I understand if people disagree with me. What am I? I guess I'm a bit of a fucking hippie, aren't I?
Because
I look like one.
For something better than what she allegedly turned into authorities, which, by the way, the producer of Hanson's show claims there was never an investigation. He also says it was all for money. Can you believe the power of money to corrupt all these people beyond recognition? Here's Sarah admitting to hurting.
On a side, I'm not going to talk any more about it, T-Sin. It's a great conversation, and I'd love to talk. Honestly, I would love to talk to you about it sometime. It may be in another live stream that I do. I'd really like to, because I actually am a full-blown socialist, everybody. I'm not a capitalist, I'm not a communist, I'm a socialist. And I believe that people should be taken care of. I believe that we should be investing back into our infrastructure and taking care of the less fortunate. I've always believed that. I've always supported that. Because I am from a less fortunate family, and I know how difficult it is when nobody gives a fuck about you, and nobody cares about you, and I don't think anybody should be homeless, but that's my opinion.
Kai and apologizing to Kai, saying that Sarah hurt Kai. And just so you guys know, there's no names on these because anyone can type in a name. So I have everything blank as a phone number, which of course I have to crop out. And here's Sarah accusing Madison of wanting to get with Kai. Sarah accused Billy of things, Sarah accused Ayala of things, and now she's accusing Madison of things as well. This is also Sarah implying that Billy was a psycho.
See, it's just like, I wish that Onision would actually have names on these messages. He would actually show that this is actually from her. I don't want to get into the debate of whether it's true or not, but it's just, it makes me scratch my head. It makes me scratch my head. But anyway, let's proceed. I wish you could fall for a girl who's not a total psycho. I just want a girl who's genuine and similar to me and fun and not insane. Why is it too hard? ChristianMingle.com. What the fuck,
How
man?
fun. You know, that's really fun. It's interesting how much her personality changes based on who she wants to be friends with. Again, here's the wider shot of Sarah admitting that she cuddled with someone who wasn't 18. And also saying that Kai didn't do anything, even after she was 18. I don't know how it's not getting through your guys' heads. Here's Kai pointing out to Sarah that Sarah dropped Kai as a friend because Kai refused to get with Sarah. It's a very vindictive, malicious thing to do, to stop associating with someone because they won't do you. But it's okay, Sarah's a criminal, and just like criminals would,
Well, why not stop associating with her? Because you're obviously not sexually attracted to her, are you, Onision or Kai? And it's obvious that your relationship with this person, your friendship with this person, is tedious and stressful and toxic. So why are you still friends with them? I feel like I've said this like 5 times today, but I can't fathom why. If Onision's story is true, why the fuck did they spend so much time with this girl and talk to her for so many years if she was this problematic? Genuinely, answer that question. Answer it.
She resorted to blackmail. Sarah was pursuing Kai so hard, she was inquiring about what chance she would have with Kai because she was now...
Fact of the matter is, they fucked her, right? They fucked her, and they were attracted to her. Fuck
an
'em.
adult and felt she could pursue Kai, and I said, yeah, there's a 78% chance or a 50% chance or something, and then Kai is texting Sarah saying, nope, that's not the case because I misinterpreted what Kai wanted. So here Sarah indicates that she was friends with Kai for 4 years. When she's writing this, she's 18, so that means that when she started talking to Kai online, she was 14. She actually met Kai to go to a baby shower when she was 16 and has made it
Why are you talking to a 14-year-old?
She's been
Why?
pursuing Kai the whole time, despite Kai showing no interest. Sarah even admits, and I quote, I have known for 2 years it was out of the question, not just when I was 16 and 17, but even after I was 18. Sarah's admitting also in this text to being willing to lie to Kai her entire life, Sarah's entire life, if she had to, about how she was in love with Kai the whole time. In love with Kai. But what's odd is later on, Sarah had completely, seemingly forgotten about Kai and said that she just wanted a boyfriend this whole time, referring to me. It's hard to keep up with people who can't keep their story straight. Here's Sarah
It's hard to keep up with people who talk to 14-year-olds.
contradicts something she said in real life about allegedly being in love with me during a mental breakdown, where she allegedly also tried to end her own life with pills, which...
So somebody in the chat called Irrit Ready puts, how is Greg claiming he wasn't attracted to Sarah yet fucked her in the ass? Oh Christ, is that true? But yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know how Greg can play off that there's no attraction there, that there was no attraction to, Sarah and Kai to Sarah. It's just lunacy, man.
may or may not have happened because I can't necessarily trust the
Like,
person.
could you imagine, like, knowing a girl from the age of 14 and having this friendship with them where you kind of nurture them and support them and you become, like, parent figures to them, and then when they become 18, you have sex with them? It's interesting, isn't it? It's very, very, very strange. That kind of dynamic and that kind of behavior. I can understand why the FBI would want to do an investigation on Onision and Kai, because it's just a bit weird. And by a bit, I mean a lot. It's a lot of bit. It's a lot of bit. To be H. Yeah. Woody Allen.
Who said this happened because I don't know for sure that they were being honest. But the point is that she's saying because it was never about him, like I said, I have feelings for him, i.e. me, but they aren't at the level and depth what they felt for Kai. She was also indicating that I was trying to respect Kai by only moving forward with things if Kai had approved, but that didn't work out once she actually proposed that in return for her not going on a slanderous campaign where she tries to ruin our life, we instead sleep with her so she'll sign this NDA. An NDA we had another friend sign before her because it was innocent. And again, you have people sign NDAs when you're famous so they don't go on campaigns to try and ruin your life. You also have it with friends so you don't go on YouTube trashing each other when you could actually still salvage a friendship in private and not be malicious and hateful.
See, I do want to say though, and I think it's important. I am aware that there are celebrities out there who use NDAs, and it's not like uncommon. But most of the people who ask other people to sign NDAs, it's because they've got something to hide. It's because the things that they do are like, not shit that they want really being put out there. So the fact that Onision is assuming that he needs to have NDAs with these women, it's kind of it gives me a bad vibe, right? It makes me think, what was going through Onision's mind to want to ask these young ladies to sign NDAs? Like, this is the kind of shit you think of, right? Rebecca, thank you very fuck yeah. Cheers. But shout out to Rebecca and Irish. You guys were fucking amazing, man. But it's like, it's so like, I am aware, like, the only other thing that I'm definitely aware of, you guys know who Charlie Sheen is. He's from 2.5 Men. The dude who literally, like, had, like, a low-key breakdown and went on, like, national TV and said that he's got, like, tiger blood and that he's winning. And it was, like, completely memed. Yeah, he's got AIDS. It's a shame. But he's, like, known for having this really, like, excessive lifestyle where he does like lots of drugs and he does a lot of alcohol, and he has sex with lots of like various women, hookers, and sex workers, right, and whatnot, right? And he would actually have like people sign NDAs when they would like arrive at his house, because like the shit they would get up to would be like, like yikes. And that's like when I think of like people signing NDAs, like who aren't businesses. Like I know that businesses will make you sign NDAs if you're like working with them. Like I've been a consultant before, and I remember having to do things like that back then, and it's very that's when it happens in business. But this isn't business. This seems more like pleasure to me. This seems like it's more of a relationship, a friendship. This is more of a connection. So it's kind of strange that you would want to throw NDAs into that. What it says is that the things that he was doing were worrisome, and he even knew they were worrisome, or B, he's paranoid, which is fair enough. There are lots of people who are paranoid, and I think being a celebrity, that makes sense that you would be very paranoid, that you would be worrying about things and people and shit. NDAs are pretty much worthless. I mean, apparently it hasn't served Onision any good, has it? Apparently Onision's had all of these NDAs, and people have still come out against him, so it didn't really serve purpose in that regard. But let's continue, eh?
Towards each other publicly. Right now I have about, I think, 8 NDAs out there with both grown men and grown women who have mutually agreed as friends to not publicly trash each other, so we can speak to each other in confidence, knowing that that person isn't going to try and ruin our lives if we're ever at odds. I felt this was important after knowing someone named Madison who went on a public campaign against me because she felt that me being in a diaper on video was inappropriate. She is apparently one of those people who likes pretending to be a baby while someone else pretends to be their daddy. I was making fun of the DDLG kink, and she was laughing in the video and laughing at the time, but after it was all said and done, she decided to say that she was actually not comfortable with me making fun of people in DDLG and wasn't comfortable with the whole diaper thing either. That incident ruined any potential for Madison and I to collaborate in the future, and I wanted to avoid future instances of someone taking my joke out of hand or otherwise saying hateful things publicly that were based on jokes, so we could still have a friendship of some sort.
I think that's the thing, though. I mean, I get the whole concept of like comedy is so controlled these days that people feel like they can't make jokes anymore. But it's like, there are people who will like think something's funny at the time, but they'll think about it and realize that actually that was quite offensive and that kind of like hurt them and their friends. Like this shit does happen. Like Onision always plays off these ideas that people can't change their mind, and if they change their mind, they're a liar. They're fake. People can, every single one of you here watching today could change your mind about something serious, about your opinion on something. That doesn't make you a bad person because you change your perspective, you change your mind, that's just you just kind of understanding things differently, having some sort of epiphany. Whether that epiphany is correct or not is, up to the situation, but people change their minds all the time, and it doesn't make them bad people because of it. It doesn't make them liars either. It just we learn, we grow. Exactly.
So because of people like Madison and what I went through with Madison, I decided to start having my friends sign NDAs so we wouldn't have mutual public outbursts on each other. I would be held legally responsible for trying to make someone else look bad, and they would be held legally responsible for trying to make me look bad. Just like I was with Sear, just like I was with Shane Dawson, just like I was with a lot of people. I went after people, and I wish I hadn't, so I had mutual NDAs so nobody could do anything publicly, and we could handle it privately like adults. And
nobody could do anything publicly, and we would handle it privately like adults. It just, the way that he says that, and I know that people are gonna get on me for saying this, but it just seems very cult-like. It seems very cult-like he's controlling everything. I remember watching this documentary about this place in Russia where there's this man who looks like Jesus. Not like me, like actual Jesus, like long brown beard, kind of slender and pale. And he literally lives at the top of this hill. And basically he has a community at the bottom of this hill, various men and various women, and these individuals were like kind of worship this man as some sort of god. They thought he was like the second coming of Jesus or something, and it was this huge cult. And you're probably wondering why I'm kind of bringing this up, why I'm, you know, referencing this as a subject. It's like this man, he controlled everything. He dictated how things would play. He would have multiple wives and have sex with who he wanted to have sex with. You know, people were his to kind of like control. And whilst I'm not necessarily saying that it's the exact same situation, it's not necessarily the same as what's going on with Onision, because he's not having sex with everybody. Not everybody, but it's like just like the whole parameter of like him dictating things and controlling things, and like things being dealt with privately, right? It's just interesting. It's power and control. Exactly, ready, exactly. Anyway.
And it has worked with almost everyone.
Then you should know RBF. It's some good shit, innit? Like I enjoy watching documentaries like that. I feel like I learn something from it, and that's. I mean, that's why anybody watches a documentary, I assume.
Except for Sarah, who, again, blackmailed us as part of her agreement to sign. Again, for all of you people who are blindly supporting Sarah, she's already publicly admitted to doing this. She said it was a joke, but guess what? If you joke about someone where you say you'll only sign something if they sleep with you, and then they actually do it, it's no longer a joke. It literally happened. You can't just go into a bank and say, hey, I want all your money. They give you the money.
But the thing is, right, so what happened then? Did Onision come to Sarah after like knowing her for a long time and say, yo, Sarah, can you sign this NDA for me? You know, I know it's been a number of years, but I want you to sign the NDA now so things will be kept private. Or did it happen kind of earlier on? Because I think that makes things makes things very, very different if you really think about it. It kind of diversifies things. And guys, it's really difficult for me to actually speak this eloquently for long periods of time, and I'm starting to feel my energy drain from my mind. But why have... If what he's saying is true, which is probably not, but let's say that it is true, and you know, she said, oh yeah, you know, I'll sign the NDA if we can, you know, have a romantic relationship. Why not just say, okay, you don't have to sign the NDA, and more importantly, I'm not going to have sex with you? Like, why not just say that? Like, if somebody's openly trying to extort you and manipulate you, and you're a fucking YouTuber, and you've got a huge following, wouldn't you want to protect that? Wouldn't you want to... If you were somebody who was not interested in this woman, which is... he obviously was, right? But if he was not interested in Sarah, and he was not interested in... And if Kai wasn't interested in Sarah, why not just tell the girl to leave them alone and block that person? Why go ahead with it?
You walk out and you say, oh, you were just joking. You have the money in your hands. You got what you wanted. It's not a joke. And guess what? That's a felony. Not just the bank robbery, this sexual extortion. First of all, that little gray box to the upper left, that's what happens when you hover over a text when you're using an iMac.
Exactly, Emily Starks. Exactly. It's like you've got proof that this person is like trying to extort you. Cut them off and end it there.
So just understand that these texts are mostly, I think, from an iMac computer. Regardless, you ever meet one of those guys who will be your friend and then he finds out that he can't get with you and so then he doesn't want to be your friend anymore? Yeah, that's Sarah. People aren't so...
Yeah, I'm sure, like, you know, Onision wasn't, like, in bed with Sarah when she turned 18 and was, like, not wanting to have sex and was like, oh, I'm being manipulated, I'm being... You know, it's such bullshit, man. He's playing him... Like, the thing is... In a situation like this, it actually annoys me that he is victimizing himself, because he's not a victim. And, you know, there might be inconsistencies in various people's stories, and that's something that I think we would all like to know, if there are inconsistencies. But don't play yourself off as a victim. You're not I have very rarely heard Onision really say, you know what, I did make a mistake here. Like, it seems... Or when he does, it's like really trivial shit that doesn't matter, right?
Unique. And it's interesting that Sarah's trying to accuse fangirls of being insane and imply she's not a homewrecker herself when she tried to expose Kai for allegedly smoking pot at one point, because Sarah, once she realized that I wasn't going to be with her and that she was too toxic for me to be around, she decided to try and destroy our marriage as well by telling me that Kai smoked pot because she thought that that would actually be a reason. But like everyone else, she doesn't pay attention. I'm not so concerned with people smoking pot. I'm concerned with people committing crimes. I do not want to be associated with criminals, which is why Sarah is no longer in my life. Sarah tried to destroy a marriage by shaming someone for doing what she perceived as, at one point in their life, allegedly smoking pot. Sarah tried to ruin someone's marriage over pot. Again, here is Sarah saying that someone violated her. Don't know if that's...
So he spent like loads of time literally attacking people for smoking marijuana. Now he's saying, oh, Sarah was trying to ruin a marriage over marijuana. It's so dumb.
True, but apparently it's
okay,
her saying
okay.
LMAO about.
On a side note, do you mind like changing your name? Like, I'm not actually gonna call you by your screen name. I just want you to be fucking aware of that.
Which she has been relatively sadistic
Yikes.
about almost everything, involving dancing to my fake meltdown and having a viewing party of me telling
Fucking
my
hell,
side
man.
of the story, as if this is all some big game to her. Don't forget to replace her $200 laptop for $1,500, guys. Again, a text from Sarah showing how desperate she was to get with myself or Kai or both, but she consistently shows such disappointment because this person just, no matter how hard they try, will...
Andrea, yes. Everybody read what Andrea's put in the chat. For those of you who are wondering, I will read it out if you're watching the video back. Andrea puts, what's the opposite of self-awareness? I swear he accuses literally everyone of doing exactly what he does all the fucking time. Fucking bingo. Bingo. You're right on the money. If you were blindfolded and you had that tail and you were trying to pin it on the donkey, you would have fucking bullseyed it.
Will not be
Absolutely
into them.
bullseyed
So you
it.
know what we do? You know what we do when we're finally out of their life and we just can't get what we want, Sarah? We go on a smear campaign trying to ruin an innocent person's life. You know Kai is innocent, yet you continue to allow this disgusting narrative that Kai's some kind of monster when you know Kai never had any interest in sending you any inappropriate content ever. You're a disgusting liar. And here's Sarah saying that the best thing for my marriage and my family is to have Sarah out of my life immediately. And then she goes on to apologize for hurting feelings. And she didn't mean to be mean. Sarah blaming alcohol.
Yeah, literally, like, Kai's sending nudes to these girls, and it's like, oh, Kai's a good person. Kai has been crying because of you guys, and you're not very nice people. It's just so stupid, man. Yeah, it is projection. That's literally it. It's, pardon me, it's projection. And he's projecting onto other people and making them out to be bad people when this, you know, I don't know, man. So Opex puts in the chat, and I love this comment. He's predictable. Remember, this dude is 34 years old. I very rarely actually that's not true. I actually do forget it a lot. I actually forget that he is 10 years older than me. He is 10 years my senior, and he literally speaks like a teenager. Like, he talks about cuddling and just this back and forth, he said, she said. Like, next he's going to be talking about, oh, well, Sarah and Kai held hands, but Kai felt bad about holding hands. Like, it's so fucking delinquent, man. Man-child, yeah, right, man-child, right, yeah.
When she was
exactly,
an
yeah.
adult on us, even though we were not able to stop her from using alcohol because she was an adult. Doesn't mention that anywhere, does she? Apparently she was also getting drunk during the viewing party, as I was told, and she's still not legally able to do that. Here she's admitting to selling drugs illegally, which is a felony, and on top of that, she's seemingly bragging about sleeping with someone, which, by the way, when you're a victim, you're not supposed to brag about it. You're supposed to say, I was a victim of something, not we F-U-C-K-E-D. First off, these screenshots were sent to me via email, so I don't know whose desktop that is, but she also says people with BPD are just as deserving of love and respect as anyone else, and that's because she has BPD. She was diagnosed with it. Not disagreeing with the statement about BPD, but if you have BPD, you should be medicated, which Sarah rarely was. Maybe she was selling her drugs instead of actually taking them herself. Which, by the way, Sarah, as a former Air Force cop, I think I...
Oh, guys, he's fucking schooling her. He's like, as a former air school cop, I know what I'm talking about. Air Force cop, guys. Air Force cop.
That's a 3 to 5 year sentence, and oh yeah, a felony. You just admitted to a felony, and here's this alleged victim tweeting, "Eat my butt, Greg." Wow, that's really what a victim would tweet. And they followed up with, "I don't have to rely on my, quote, messed up memory. I have every single text since I was 14 still saved. And yet none of those texts indicate any predatorial behavior. Go figure. Yet all the texts that I have consistently show you admitting to how innocent Kai is, yet you continuing to be okay with this narrative that Kai's some kind of monster when you know damn well he never was." And here we have her, for some reason, saying, "I did cocaine, use it against me." And then we have her threatening me and calling me a pussy. Then saying I'm pathetic for pointing out how terrible she has been.
Threatening me! Oh, could you guys... honestly, you know what, guys? Just wait until I get off work. You do not scare me, pussies. Do you feel threatened? Do you feel intimidated, audience? Do ya? Do you? You gonna cry about it on Twitter, are you?
And to my family.
Dumb.
What an upstanding human being. Her again trying to shame Kai for allegedly doing something that Kai never did. And then bragging about getting a hickey on her neck, which is so exactly what victims do. They go and post pictures of hickeys that they get.
I love it at the end of this video. It's just him being patronizing for like 4 or 5 minutes.
Because they're just so proud of it. Or is this just, I don't know, clout-seeking behavior in the most common and generic of forms? She posted texts that I allegedly sent, and the things that are said in these texts seem to actually match up with what I've been saying all this time. And she says, in a totally respectful, honest, integrity-driven, clear victim way, not at all like someone who's just trying to exploit #MeToo for money and attention, "Damn, he mad." Wow. Now I want you guys to ask yourself, what do people typically say when they send someone an inappropriate selfie? What do they say? They say anything, right? Has Sarah shown any indication that this selfie was even remotely something Kai would ever want to send? Any screenshot of what Kai would have said? Have you gotten anything except for the fact that Sarah had access to something she shouldn't have? And also coincidentally has Kai's laptop. So now it's your chance to go ask Sarah if all these screenshots that I just shared with you are real. Now's the time for her to either confirm that she's a liar or admit that she's a liar. Because either all these...
So it's time for her to confirm that she's a liar or tell you that she's a liar. Like, the shit that this guy comes out with, he's literally like... I don't know how to describe it. I really don't. It's just fucking... It's funny, man. It's funny. He is real mad. I don't blame him for being mad. Like, I get why he's angry. I think everybody here could understand why he would be really angry, but does that make it okay? Does that make it okay that he's angry? So it's just really interesting. I will say this, and this video is done now, so I'll bring you back to the main screen, back to Mount Doris, beautiful lady in the background, that fucking volcano. I really do want to say that I have spoken a little bit more recently about kind of how I feel about some of the kind of alleged victims' behaviors and how they've been kind of speaking on Twitter, and I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like there has been some level of like clout chasing and kind of taking advantage of followings and things like that. I have noticed that from some of the various women who are kind of involved in this investigation. You know, they've also it's really made the waters muddy, in my opinion, and it's not really a good vibe. I will say though that I'm sure you guys have heard that Sarah basically asked for money on Venmo. She asked for donations to replace her laptop and to help her with college or school and whatnot. And can I be honest with you? If what they say is true and they have actually gone through the shit that they have gone through, I don't really see what's wrong with them getting something good out of everything. Like, I don't see anything bad from people wanting to donate to them and support them and help them. There are lots of really good people out there, and if those people want to help her, That's on them. That's their decision. You know, if they want to give her money so she can buy a new laptop, or even if she wants to spend it on herself and buy herself nice things, to be honest, right? The money that she and anyone else is getting, the money that I'm getting, that any person who does anything like this is getting, it's your money, guys. You decide what you do with your money. You've worked for it. You get to decide what you do with it. So don't let people mudden the water or make it out that these girls don't deserve support. If you want to support them, feel free to do so. You know? Don't fall for his bullshit, Loki. Well, I'm not falling for his bullshit. I do want to say, yeah, thank you for reminding me, RBF, because I know this stream's pretty hot shit, innit? I do want to say that I'm not a big fan of Charlot's behaviour recently. I do understand getting angry and frustrated and telling people to off themselves. I'm not gonna lie, guys. There have been times in the past where I've said shit like that to people, and for some of those situations, if not most of them, I don't really feel apologetic about it. You know, I know that doesn't sound very aware or very self-aware of me, but just because she's somebody who's gone through shit doesn't mean that she can't be an asshole. She can't be a dick. And to be honest, she was a dick. She was an asshole. I'm not taking that away. But I think people need to stop having this assumption that we're not all just human beings, and that we can't all be irrational and ridiculous. And by the way, that's not me defending her. I'm not defending her at all, no whatsoever. But I'm not gonna sit here and condemn her. Like, it's, if I was to condemn her, I would be a hypocrite. So I'm not gonna do that. And you know, I always talk about how, like, you know, I think being, you know, how hypocritical Onision is. I'm not gonna sit here and be hypocritical on my own live stream. So yeah, like I'm sure like Charlotte's under a lot of stress and people are criticizing her friend, but you know, there's the right way of dealing with that situation. Basically, I don't know the full story, but there's some woman on Twitter who, I believe, like, Charlotte put that this woman was harassing her friend, and I believe that friend was Sarah, and upsetting Sarah, and Charlotte literally, like, told the person to end their life. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I'm correct. That's what I read, and that's what I kind of followed. But it wasn't what I really expected from Charlotte. Watch his latest video, and if you're still supporting those girls, you're just hopeless. Yeah? Have you seen Charlotte's last Chris Hansen interview? She looks like her soul's been sucked out. Yeah. Charlotte has a very impulsive temper. Yeah, and that seems to be the case, and that's why, like, I've always tried to be. I know I don't feel like unbiased is the right word. I'd like to think that I've always tried to be objective about things. Like, if I see that there's a inconsistency in one of the alleged victim's story, or if I think an interview was in bad taste, like, there have been interviews that I've genuinely thought I didn't really believe that, to be honest. Some of the later ones, I didn't really buy them. I didn't really believe them. They didn't really make sense to me, and a lot of it's based on hearsay, which is why I always refer to them as alleged victims. It's because it's hearsay. There is no, like, there's very little proof apart from the videos of Onision being abusive, and those are the only things that I can really fathom or understand to actually be 100% true. And he keeps saying that they're just jokes, which I guess it depends on what you believe, isn't it? Mental abuse in relationships will do that to you, and whilst I agree with you, go ahead, be offended. Just because you've gone through a lot of shit doesn't mean that you can be a cunt to somebody else. Okay? And I don't care how upset people get how upset people get that I say that, But the reason why I say that is because I used to be one of those people. I used to be one of those people who, when I'd get upset, when I'd get angry, I'd take it out on other people. You know, I'd bully other people. I'd attack other people. I'd make other people feel like fucking shit to make myself feel better, because putting other people down made me feel good. And that's what bullies do. And whilst many of you may not believe it, or say that you maybe bullied somebody at one point in your life, there are a lot of people out there who have probably bullied somebody for some selfish reason. That they didn't need to pick on that person, but they decided to because it gave them a rush. It made them feel exhilarated. It made them feel powerful and strong. It happens, guys. That's all I'm saying. They were not babies. Hello. They were not 5. They can think for themselves. I mean, Sarah was like 14 when she first started talking to Onision and Kai. Why was a 14-year-old talking to 2 adults and having long conversations with them? I'll wait, loving strangers. I'll wait. I'll wait. Yikes. I mean, that's literally the main thing. Alright, apparently there's a new video, so I want to watch this next video. Let's watch it. Right, and I fuck with that, Charlie. I really do. And I'm honestly proud of the people in here who are you know, honest about themselves, and I think that's good. I think once you start to actually understand the person that you are, you can improve, you can adjust, you can become a better person. I've had to do a lot of self-improvement these last 5 years. I used to be maybe not as bad as Onision, but I used to not be the most savoury of people, you know? It happens. Talking to someone at 14 doesn't mean grooming them, though. I mean, can I just ask you a question? And I've actually asked this and not got an answer from anybody so far today, because I think most people here agree with me. But what sane reason does a 28, 30-year-old man have to be talking to a 14, 15-year-old girl on the internet when he's literally a celebrity and he's got a big following and he's got a wife and he's got kids? I mean, what's the actual interest there? I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have actually had a conversation with a child, a teenager of that age. It's not really the most interesting of conversations. I'm not trying to be ageist, I'm just being honest. Any of you who actually spend a lot of time around teenagers would probably know that you probably wouldn't want to be spending lots of your time talking to one. Unless they are literally like a prodigy child and they're really, really good at talking and have interesting conversations with them. It's rare. It's weird. It's weird, and I actually find it weird that people try to rationalize that kind of behavior, because it is strange. I'm not saying that means that they are a pedophile or a groomer. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's very strange, and there are many pedophiles and groomers who exhibit this kind of behavior and befriend children. It happens, and it's quite scary, extremely scary, actually. But anyway.
So here's a corrected version of the image I posted prior. As you can see, she has a different background, a different chair, has dark brown hair in one, yet it's blonde in the other. Same house maybe. Her hair is neat on the right, but it's kind of messy on the left. It looks like she just up and recorded something trying to get in the same outfit, so it would look like she didn't willfully and happily record a video. It was really odd how she was like completely and utterly distraught in the video on the left, but
oh shit, yeah, my apologies. I literally zoned out completely. Thank you for reminding me. 1216777.
the one on the right, she's totally calm, totally composed, and says it like it was her first attempt. It was weird. So as you can see on the left, it looks like the bleached hair is fading. Some people say that might be a filter or it might be a different camera. I'm really curious as to why you would switch cameras, why you would switch room.
It's funny because first of all, he was saying that it wasn't legit, it wasn't a genuine video, that it was fake. But now it seems like he's changing his story. But somebody came into my live stream and said that I must be lost. Actually, from what I've gathered, this is actually proving that this is genuine.
Why you would switch everything about
It's just really dumb, innit?
It was a blooper. Bloopers.
It's really dumb.
It looks exactly the same as everything else, only you just like you stumble over your words or something happens emotionally, whatever. Bloopers are not, oh crap, somebody caught me in a statement I made earlier that contradicts everything I'm saying, so I'm going to go try to look exactly the same, but get the room wrong, get the lighting wrong, get my hair wrong even. It looks brown. And I was told that she was implying that she was like forced to make a video or something, yet the screenshot she used was just me saying, hey, tell the truth, be honest. You know, like it wasn't anything. I don't know why someone saying, hey, tell the truth makes you break down crying, unless your crying is totally fake because you're trying to get back at people, which is consistent with the vindictive smear campaign. And here's something I'm very confused about, because if you're going to interview someone or talk about somebody who is allegedly predatory, you got to talk to Ayala, because that's the person that Sarah accused, the only person Sarah accused of actually trying to get with Sarah when she was not of age. Have you heard Hansen talk about this? The guy who's supposed to catch people trying to get with minors? Because, what, is it because Ayala's a girl that we don't care? Or is it because she's not famous enough? Doesn't get us enough views. So let's talk about Hansen. Apparently his producer, former producer, posted this. It's a very,
I can't believe Onision's actually posting this. I actually can't believe that Onision is posting this. This is actually, honestly, Vincent, you fucking Neanderthal, you actual caveman.
it's a very intense thing that
dude.
nobody seems to care about, because the guy told a short bus joke, so I guess that invalidates anything he could ever say, even though he's the only one who could have that actual inside perspective on the Hansen campaign. And people wonder why I don't want to work with Chris Hansen. Well, he was involved in losing a lawsuit where he caused the death of somebody, or was associated with causing the death of somebody, which cost them over $100 million. And then he has the nerve to show up to my house when he was not invited whatsoever. In fact, I had threatened legal action against him for slander, and yet he decided to tell people he was invited because maybe he learned what trespassing laws are. I don't know. And brace yourself. Look at that. Wow, it's a Hansen mugshot, because he's a corrupt guy. And it's not even just me. It's not me talking. It's literal news articles. It's all over the place.
I love it. He says he's a corrupt guy, but he literally, like, what, bounced a check? Okay.
If you just look for it, you realize, oh my God, I wouldn't open my door for this guy either. He's a creep. And we also have enormous financial problems, which would explain pretty much why he's trying to milk alleged victims for all their worth.
To be fair, I really hate to say this. I have been really... I don't want to agree with Onision. I feel like I need to end the stream here because I don't want to agree with him. But I used to be Chris Hansen's biggest advocate, and I genuinely think that Chris Hansen is... I think he's a bit of a charlatan, to be honest.
It's all about money and donations. Who knows where those donations are going? But we all know that he has financial problems, so it's probably going into the black hole that is his financial ruin. Apparently, he lost a lawsuit to American Express for $60,000. He apparently owes $250,000 in taxes, $125,000 to the bank. And again, you guys all got scammed. You've been donating to him. He had like a GoFundMe where people complained about that. You can Google that, about that whole scam, allegedly. And also the fact that he's been collecting donations from you guys, but not really saying where that money's going. And again, he quoted some like Socrates thing or whatever, saying,
I mean, if he gets donations, that money's for him. What are you talking about?
you know, when people are losing, they resort to slander. Well, that means that he's been losing since the very beginning, because what he's been saying about me is absolutely false and absolutely ridiculous. And he's implying himself that the news is somehow not real. Fake news, you know, like where all these articles with documentation of his court appearances where he actually lost, I guess that's all just fake news. And if you actually look up in news.google.com, you can find these things. Just quote whatever you're seeing here. The former catch predator was charged. Just do that, and you'll find these articles. And what's he going to do? He's going to say you're slandering him for looking up news articles? And you guys should also pay attention to everybody who's been on Hansen's show. You're talking about a bunch of people, like especially YouTubers. They profit from the more attention they get. So, of course, they're going to say whatever this man wants them to, so they can also get clout and attention and maybe survive, which, you know, in my opinion, most YouTubers are probably making minimum wage. So it's a pretty desperate act. Just get a normal job. And who does
Says you! Go to McDonald's.
Hansen choose to work with? Well, of course, accused sexual predators, of course. Would you look at that? More news articles about how Mike is allegedly accused of groping women. How about that?
Oh, yeah. Guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I've barely spoke about Mike Morse, and the reason why is because I've seen the accusations, I've seen everything against him, and it's just further. I'm not gonna lie, guys, it really further put me off Chris. Like, the shit that's gone on with his producer was really dumb and really unprofessional. Chris's behaviour in the interviews, the leading questions, some of the questions even feel a little bit manipulative, like he's trying to push an agenda onto the people he's interviewing. I don't like it. I don't like his interviewing style. I'm actually really sad because I really, really looked up to Chris Hansen when I was young, like watching TCAP on TV, watching the reruns as a kid, and I watch shows like that all the time, and it's just I was a bit disappointed, man, in everything that's kind of been happening.
That's the guy you want to work with, Hansen. Good idea. Guy that needs to compensate for his own shortcomings and project all his problems on other people. And you know how people keep bringing up the FBI? Well, apparently Mike has something going on with the FBI. I don't even know. This is very confusing. A bag of cash amid bribery probe? Like, oh my God. And this guy's accused of groping, which is just crazy and weird. What I'm accused of is dumping people, which I totally dump people. I dump people in a mean way.
No, come on, mate. You know you're being accused of stuff that's far more pressing than that. He's stated in previous videos that people are accusing him of being a groomer, for example. What is he talking about?
They want to be mad about it, but there's no crimes that I commit, so they just got to deal with being rejected. But this guy over here, apparently he's accused of groping. Yikes. Okay, and apparently, from what I understand, the case was dismissed because somebody committed perjury or something. So it's weird that if he has experience with people lying about him, he would have seen liars sitting right in front of him on Hansen's show, but they're all willfully ignorant because clout and money. Woohoo. Here's what they probably should have read before ever trying to show up to someone's house uninvited. And here's Hansen actually committing a crime on camera, as well as his 40,000 other dudes that he brought with him for some reason. Totally creepy, all dressed in dark colors. Like, who would answer the door to that? And he flew these people allegedly across the country. Like, I don't know where they came from, but they probably came all the way from New York. What a weird investment of your money to just literally uproot yourself, ignore the no trespassing sign that's obviously on that tree right next to you, walking with 19 feet, breaking the law just to knock on someone's door and be rejected. As you can see here, this is funny. Accused sex predator, Mike. And then there's literally recently went to jail. Chris, you can't even say that's slander. It's in the news all over the place. But I point out that there's no trespassing signs right there, which these guys all on camera walk by like it doesn't even exist. Right, here's a no trespassing sign, which you could see earlier was right up there. And then you're about to see another. Oh, it's actual video footage of where the other sign is. What do you know? How about that, guys? Looks like open and closed.
It's interesting, guys. Turns out that his signs are redundant because he's not actually prosecuting anybody for being on his property. Interesting, that, isn't it?
You just committed a crime, Hansen,
Interesting.
on camera. So the only thing you really accomplished was flying across the country so you could violate no trespassing laws and get the cops called on you, which any rational human being would do if they have their family inside and some creep that they saw a mugshot of online shows up to your front door. Ew, 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 go away. Ew, old man, creepy old man, go away. Ew, no, don't knock on my door. No, the dog's barking at you because you're gross. Okay, go away. Stop. I saw the mugshot of you. Get off my property. Go away. You're disgusting.
Kai?
Oh, don't say Kai's name, you freaking prick. Get off my property. Seriously, gross. All right, guys, these frauds have been running this campaign since, what, August? Okay? All right, so when are you going to finally accept that you were lied to? All these people collected money from you. And money is, of course, the root of all evil, which they all made off you.
Wow. What an interesting revelation, guys. It's honestly, I think this is like a series that Onision is doing. I think he's probably going to do some more videos like this, but I feel like I've said everything I need to really say today, you know, in regards to this topic. But that video didn't really offer much more apart from perhaps Chris Hansen is not the knight in shining armor that some people think he is, which I think is pretty clear to a lot of people at this point. You know, you got to remember that Chris Hansen is a journalist, and arguably there are a lot of journalists, and I'd argue that he is the kind of journalist that, you know, he's in it for the money. You know, he's in it for the money, and he's doing it because he's good at it. You know, he's good at this kind of journalism. and this is what he gravitates to. So I get that, but I don't know. I think people need to stop thinking that he's the new sheriff of YouTube and he's gonna like clean things up, because it doesn't really look like he is. If I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, this live stream has been fantastic today. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's been almost 2 hours, and I am fucking tired. What do you think about the CEO of YouTube not doing anything? Honestly, there are so many YouTubers and people out there who are crying about YouTube not doing anything. YouTube is big money business, guys. And as much as you guys might not like it, it's understandable why they wouldn't get rid of Onision. Thank you, RBF. I appreciate that. That's amazing. That's rock and roll. But yeah, I mean, it's big money business, and in big money business, people get away with things, and things do not happen. And I think that's something that people just have to kind of understand and accept. You know? Yeah, I don't really buy the whole FBI connection. I don't really see it. I don't really believe it. I mean, the fact that what's his face, Vincent never sent the laptop just shows me a real a very undeniable. In a way, it gives me proof that Chris is not as invested into actually pushing things forward against Onision as he claims to be. That's genuinely my opinion. 'Cause I feel like if he really did give a fuck about like pressing that thing forward and sending that to the FBI, I think he would have been more involved. He would have actually took it to the FBI. He would have used his connections to take it to the FBI, to send it to the FBI, instead of giving it to Vincent, of all people, this giant fucking clown who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like that's. It did sound very convincing, but I started to notice there were like inconsistencies about the things that Chris was saying. And I'm not making Chris sound like a bad person, but exactly, Stacey, he's no Louis Theroux in my opinion. Chris is no Louis Theroux, and Louis Theroux is arguably, in my opinion, and you guys can argue this with me if you want to in a future live stream. I'm not doing it today, but I consider him one of the best, if not the best, living interviewer who's alive today. One of the best. If not the best, in my opinion. But then again, I don't know that many interviewers. So, but yeah. Yikes. Anyway. It just looks really bad. Yeah, people keep saying that, Emily. People keep saying that he could be talking to the FBI, but it's sensitive information. But if that's true, Emily, why tell us in the first place? Why turn around and say, yo, you know, like, there's this investigation, this is going on, you know, the FBI are looking into Onision. Like, why share that information if it's sensitive information? Like, why can Chris pick and choose what he tells people? And why are you guys defending that? I'm just saying. Does somebody actually put, dude, you need haircut? No, I don't want a haircut, man. I like my long hair. But get off me, bro. I don't want to have short hair. I look really shitty with short hair. I look really boring and basic. And yeah. The police even said the FBI is looking into Greg. Yeah, now it's been months, but when it first like happened, when the investigation first started, I don't really buy that it was actually that anything was happening. I just don't really buy it. But you know what, guys? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, and that's something I'm very comfortable with. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind being incorrect, as long as I'm comfortable with the concept and I explain to you guys that I'm not 100% sure. That doesn't really bother me, you know. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you know, if you know, I'm never wrong, right? I get it, man. Quantum Chaos. I have no idea who that person is or the channel is, unfortunately. But if you want me to look into something, I have a channel on my Discord called Show Discussion, and I always look at it. So if you guys want to post stuff in there for me to like check out, I can go check it out. Oh yeah, I actually want to like RBF. I think I'm gonna be doing like a reaction to that recording. By the way, I think I actually am gonna do like an actual video tomorrow, doing that. If you guys would like to watch. Loki, have you heard about Davy Vanity? Who's that? Is that somebody I need to look into? Scene boy. They always are, aren't they? That's what I've noticed. They all they all seem to be scene guys, don't they? Have you noticed that? Not all the time, but like all of these like online guys, they all look like they're all like grown men. They are all grown men, and they dress and look like teenagers. Weird vibes, bro. Weird vibes. And I'm sorry, by the way, that I look kind of young at the moment. I shaved my beard earlier in the week, and I made a mistake, and I'm gonna grow it back. You know, honestly, like whilst I can't really grow much, it's something, innit? It's a bit of stubble. It works. Makes me look a bit older and a bit more revered. Similar to Onision, used his fame. 21 women accused him now. Really? 21 women. See, that's the big thing about like this whole thing about Onision, the proof that he's showing. You know, whilst it doesn't necessarily make Sarah look great, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, guys, it doesn't necessarily make Sarah look great. There are so many other women who've stepped forward, like saying that Onision is bad trouble, like he's bad news. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I couldn't imagine having that many people openly accuse me of things like that, and it doesn't make sense. The only way somebody would do that, or that many people would do that, in my opinion, would be if there was some truth to it. There was some kind of logical understanding to it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, are we assuming that every single one of these girls is a clout chaser and a liar? I don't really buy it, man. Guy Fawkes mustache. I love my Guy Fawkes mustache. You with a beard would remind me of a lumberjack, mostly because of the flannel shirt. Thanks. Yeah, it's cool. Fuck with that. I can't grow a proper beard yet. The youngest victim of Davy was 11. So, is this a YouTuber or is this somebody else? Can you guys send me this stuff on Discord, please, and I'll review it. It is Chris's right to pick and choose what he discloses to us. He likely had no reason to know for sure if it was safe to disclose anything about the laptop. I will say, what was he thinking with Vince? But you make it. The thing is, you know what's funny, Misty? And this is nothing against you, right? Or what your? It's more about the whole opinion. There are so many people who defend Chris, and the way they defend him is they say, like, for example, you literally just said, you know, you basically said that he was ignorant, that he didn't know that it was, you know, that he couldn't share this information or that information. Maybe he didn't know, right? Which is okay thing to say. But then there are so many people who say, oh, Chris is a professional. Chris knows what he's doing. Chris knows what he's saying. If Chris was to share something with us, then he would know what he's doing. So what is it? You know, is Chris ignorant? Is Chris professional? I feel like people are defending Chris by any means necessary, even if it doesn't make sense. Even if it doesn't make sense. Discord is like it's an app that you can get where there's like a big server, and there's lots of different like text channels, and you can go on to different text channels, and you can type messages in there and talk to other people. We have voice channels, you can sit and talk to other people on voice channel, and I use it to like keep up to date with my viewers and ask them questions and talk to my more kind of hardcore viewers. Okay, Fernando, fuck off. Fuck off down the model village. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Skype. It's like Skype, but like better. Yeah, I appreciate it, Andrea. Thank you. Yeah, even if you don't know if something's worth me checking or not, I can make that assumption myself, can't I? Like, so don't worry about it. I'm just thankful that you guys are giving me a bit of help. You know what I mean? Discord link is in the bio for, well, the description for this live stream. But to be honest, guys, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. It's been amazing today. I want you guys to know, those of you who are watching, whilst I can be critical of people, whilst I can be not necessarily disrespectful, but I can have some kind of hardcore opinions. It doesn't mean that I hate anybody. It doesn't mean that I'm a nasty person. Like, the thing about me, if any of you guys like are watching this afterwards and you want to leave me some comments, you're very welcome to do so. I'm somebody who's very willing to change their opinion based off like new evidence, so I'm not like irrational or ignorant, So just remember that. Alright, Blazing Tars. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, I feel the same way. But yeah, shout out to everybody. I really hope you guys have a good night. I will be live streaming tomorrow. I will be on Monday, and we are going to review the police recording. It's interesting that people seem to get hold of them, but whatever. Good for them. But yeah, new subscriber. Fuck yeah! Look, guys, we're getting some new subs. We're back on. We're actually like gaining subs again. It's great. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. It's been lovely. I will see you guys tomorrow. And shout out to RBF, Rebecca, and Irish for the donations today. You guys are absolutely incredible. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be on a between 3 and 6 p.m. EST. So look out for the notification on Twitter, on my Discord, on YouTube, and I'll see you guys around then. Okay? Peace out, everybody. Goodbye.